We're live.
And we are live. And for those of you who are joining us today, we are currently talking about our stories. We've been through times of adversity like we're seeing right now. And for those of you who are watching us live, stick around because we're about to start. We're just making sure we put this out on other channels as you are finding us here. And we want to tell you, you're quick, Eddie. We want to tell you that we've got some important things to share with you here. So there we go. I got mine, Eddie. I found it. There we go.
Nice.
And so, in these times of uncertainty, we want to get you moving forward. And there we are. Beautiful. Okay. With that said, thanks for those who are watching us right now. Thanks for joining us. And we're going to give you some shout outs as you are looking at us. And there's actually already two folks watching. Um, let's go. Let's talk about downsized. If you've been downsized, now what? And if you've ever been downsized, and maybe that should have been the title. Ever been downsized?
I have.
You have? I have too. So let's get to it, Eddie. This is going to be just you and me. Let's talk about our stories here. So, we're talking about 10 million, as they're saying, 3.3 in one day, 6.6 the next day. We're
Yes.
talking a total of 10 million folks who've already been downsized. And there's more to come. And we know, I don't want to call it a bloodbath. That's not the right way to put it because this is people's livelihood. I know. I don't want to be that raw. It's people's livelihood. So the question is, have you ever been downsized, Eddie?
Oh, yes. Yes. I have been downsized many times. Most of the times they hurt.
Ooh, come on.
Probably all of them. All of them hurt. And I'm so glad we're doing this. I'm so glad we chose to talk about this today
Uh-huh.
because I did come to a point. The good news is, Pierre, that I would say a year ago,
Uh-huh.
I came to a point where all the times that I've been downsized, even fired, hostily, um, I realized though that what was taken from me doesn't compare to what I gained.
Come on
And
now.
that's the value that we bring to each other today, that we bring to the marketplace, and that
Uh-huh.
we bring to those who choose to work with us. And that is, I learned a lot.
Come on, Eddie. I mean, you know, this is powerful because for those of you tuning in, and by the way, we want to say thanks. Do leave us a comment. Let us know, especially if you've ever been downsized, because that's what we're talking about today. And we know this is a tough time for a lot of folks. A lot of folks are looking for what to do next. And we understand the importance of that because we've been through it as well. And it's not a nice place to be in. So let's talk about some
That's
key
right.
steps that people can take as they go through that. But really, I want to focus on our stories. I want you and I to kind of share with the audience here that's watching the story that we have, having been through a season where the economy, or for whatever reason, whatever company we were working with, the politics, something happened, and suddenly we found ourselves with the one client we were taking care of out on the street. So I know it sounds funny when I put it that way, but there are people right now that are saying, "What do I do next? What can I do next?" So let me ask you this, Eddie. The first time you got downsized, what was your thought like? What were you thinking about the first time that happened to you?
What am I going to do now? I think every time, not only the first time, but every time I've been downsized, what am I going to do now?
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do now? And I think that the value of what I've learned in working with you the last 2+ years now is that if I get downsized in the future, even if it's in the near future, it doesn't look that way right now, but I won't ask myself that anymore
Mm,
because the power is that I've learned how to build a list.
Mm,
I've learned how to build a list. I've learned about maintaining a list, which we
mhm,
call nurturing.
mhm.
I've learned about segmenting a list, which is to segment who you want to work with and who you want to work with you, because we're not everybody's cup of tea.
So back up. This is huge what you're sharing here because, you know, let me ask you this: of the 10 million folks that just got downsized, Eddie, how many people
Yes.
understand the value of a list? And when we're talking about a list, let's be clear. Right now, if you had a job, your list consisted of one client. It's your employer, right? So
Yes.
when you've lost that job, you're gonna go out and look for somebody else to put on your list. And of course, you're gonna probably see
Right.
5, 6, 10 different potential employers so that you can find the one client to put on your list. So my question, of course, to those of you who are watching, think about this. Eddie's talking about building a list. What exactly is this about? How many folks understand the value of building a list like their company has? Because their company surely has built a list. And I just want to say, Errol, thanks for stopping by. And Ishmael, thank you guys for stopping by as we are watching the live here with you. And of course, don't hesitate to put a comment, show us some love, drop some likes on the page for us as we are absolutely sharing with you this whole process. And I call it part one today because we will do a part two as well to talk more about the story and invite more of you to share with us. So, as I was saying, Eddie, wow, from downsize to building a list. But when did you get that
Yes.
revelation that a list was where it was at?
Well, I think that the good thing is we're built to have a network of people. Um, we are so our list. When I was employed
Uh-huh,
and I worked for somebody else, and the client list belonged to that employee, my list was the people that I knew,
uh-huh,
especially the people that I shared my dreams and aspirations with,
mm,
because those are the people when I was downsized that I went to and was, remember I talked to you about wanting to do this? What do you think? Um, so everybody does have a list. I think it's becoming aware. I think this segments is this is a good segue into what we were planning to talk about, and that is, what am I going to do now? And now today, I'm asking myself, where do I want to go? Right?
Come on.
And and I want to build my list as well. I have a list, but I want to build it even bigger.
Uh-huh,
And why do I want to build it bigger? Because the bigger your list, then the more customers you have that will buy your product or service. And what does that
uh-huh.
mean?
Right.
Statistics show that pretty much between 3 and 5% of your list is ready to buy from you today.
Uh-huh.
So if only 3 to 5% of my list is ready to buy from me today, then the bigger my list, then the more money I'm gonna make on a daily basis.
So hold up right
The more
there. Hold up right there. Again, I'm thinking of folks that got downsized, yet you all the way down in building a list and actually doing the next step, which is really where most people have to go through a process to get convinced of that. So let me share a little bit of my story on
do
this
it.
because when I got downsized the first time, this was
Wait. Hold on a
back,
second. We do
sure,
got to do a short disclaimer though, because
yeah,
the last 12 broadcasts we've been going about 11 minutes, so I think we're gonna go
longer.
closer into the 20 minutes here.
Absolutely,
So
because
please tell us your story.
absolutely, and this is good because we get a chance to kind of tell each other's stories here. Um, but the first time that happened to me, Eddie, I was like, "Whoa, what do I do now?" And it's one thing when you lose a job, when you're basically sitting on the sideline and you knew that you were the man. You were driving this thing, and I've seen it. I've seen it back as far back as 1995 when I worked for a company that Rupert Murdoch owned, Eddie, and he came along, and when Microsoft came out with Internet Explorer. So I'm really dating myself here in the technological scene. All of a sudden, what we were doing didn't matter much anymore because there was a browser on the desktop. Today everybody just, hey, I've got Chrome, I've got Firefox, I've got Internet Explorer,
Well,
right? Go ahead.
I do have a short story into that,
Hmm.
and let me see if I get this right.
Please.
But Internet Explorer was not owned by Microsoft, correct?
No, Internet Explorer is what they came up with because there was a Netscape Navigator that was one of the first ones, which, of course, Netscape in the story here with Mozilla, they ended up becoming the different software that we're looking at in Firefox. There's still Mozilla software out there, but
Okay.
we're looking at a world, and I want to get it correctly here. Microsoft came out with the browser and they put their own on the desktop. So
Yeah.
suddenly, you
Yes,
know,
and that's the story kind of I want to highlight here because it has to do with sometimes your competitors or the market causes
a change.
causes a big change like we're seeing
Hmm.
right now. And
Right.
I read the story recently where Microsoft made their browser free, and I think it was Netscape. Then they put Netscape out of business because
Oh well,
they
their
made their
browser.
browser free. They made their browser free, and that caused a big antitrust lawsuit that
So
dragged on for years. But that so everybody who was working for Netscape was out of a job.
well, understand. I lived in those times. I was working for one of the big three. Remember, there was Delphi, there was AOL. There were quite a few companies that were offering online access. Right, AOL being one of them. So
Yes.
really, what you're looking at is once Microsoft did that with the browser being available for free, we were building something for TV Guide to put TV Guide online and also building a browser.
Uh huh.
Suddenly, that made no sense whatsoever. And this was the days, by the way, we're going back to 1995. Rupert Murdoch owned what primarily? News channels. That's what he
Uh
was
huh.
known for. So he already was good on giving content to people. And this is big because today, what are we doing? We want to give people content. And these stories that you and I are sharing here, this is so powerful because somebody hearing your story, somebody hearing my story, they're going to be like, wait a minute, you're telling me that this is normal. Yes, companies, and let's put it this way, on a
And economies,
in
companies and economies.
in economies, they are meant to do what? To be profitable for the company. Economies are meant to be profitable for a country, and companies are
Hmm.
looking strictly to be profitable. And at the end of the day, as an employee, you're just part of that company. Your job is to make yourself indispensable. So let's go back because Eddie was talking to us about the list and how you can become an indispensable asset in your own company or in starting your own business and serving other businesses. So let's get back to that. Why exactly should somebody build a list? Let's ask you that question, especially in this time when somebody's saying, wait, I had a vision. I knew I was supposed to do something, but now I need to build an audience. I need to go and sell to that audience, but I don't have anybody following me. I've not been paying attention. What should they do, Eddie, to build that list?
They should get on Facebook. They should get on Instagram. They should get on YouTube. They should get on LinkedIn. They should get on TikTok. They should get on Twitter. So there's multiple platforms, but I would say the top four would
Uh-huh.
be if you're looking to grow your business. Obviously, there's going to be some niches where this is going to apply, but for me, I'm very interested in Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube and
Uh-huh.
LinkedIn for the customers that I want to attract, and that is businesses and individuals to help them grow their businesses with what I've learned over the last 20 years,
Uh-huh.
all of the valleys that I've walked through, all of the times I came out of there. Okay, what am I gonna do now? Um, and so now the maturity that I have, the energy that I have, the vision that I have, the wisdom that I have. Um, I'm so excited that we've done this. This is our 13th broadcast now, I
Uh-huh.
believe, and we're going to continue to do it every day unless there's no internet because we want to grow our audience. We want to build our audience, and in terms of where we're going, though, Pierre, let me just finish with this since we should
Mm-hmm.
close soon. And that is, right, I want to build my warm market. So all the people who I've already known, all the people who I've met throughout the last 20 years, and all the projects that I've been involved in and the experience that I got there. And then I want to use paid advertising to go after people who don't know me, people who've never met me, people who've
The
never
cold
heard of
market.
me,
Mm-hmm.
the cold market. So that's kind of where I want to leave off. And I would join us in our group there that Pierre just had scrolling, and this story's not over. It's just beginning.
Absolutely, and I don't want to quite end so too quickly yet because there's one more thing I want to add to that. I got a question for you.
Yes,
Um, you talked about those major networks, right? And we'll probably go up, a couple more minutes here.
there's
These
no
major
rush.
networks that you talked about, exactly. The quick question that I have for you, Eddie, is if somebody's looking to build, let me back up. I've got a product, I've got a service. How do I get out there and start selling that product? Why can't I just get on Facebook, Instagram, and just start posting my product and start going into every group that I can find and start telling people, buy my product, buy my product? What's the problem with that?
Yeah, you could do that, but the problem is there's already been people that have been doing it for 6 years, 10 years, 2 years, 1 year. We know someone who's been going live for a year now, and they're selling something. So it's creating the
But
strategy.
right, but let me stop you. My question is, why should somebody not simply go ahead and spam everybody in those groups? Because some people are going to say, wait a minute, you're telling me I can go live, I can go on these pages. Why can't I just
Right.
go into every group that I can find where people should buy my products and start putting my products all over the place? I mean, why go live? Why don't I just go into those groups and just let people know, hey, I got this product, come buy from me?
Because you've got to nurture as well. You can't just spray people. We call it spraying. We've been calling it spraying. You can't just and spray people, which is why, for example, the it's taken me 20 years of experience plus 2 years of a deep dive into understanding what goes on in a marketing system, a funnel. It takes a long time. I mean, you can't just go and spray people. You've got to nurture people, and it's just like dating. You can't just be aggressive with um, with someone you would want to date. And even when you're married, you can't be aggressive. It's still got to be a continual courtship. Or it's the same thing with acquiring customers, keeping customers, and letting new customers know that you're out there with the product or service that they need.
I love that. So thank you so much. That's the key here because if you want to learn more about that process, that's why you should join our group. That's why you should really look to learn more because we will help you understand the process through which you can do that. And that's why again we're saying, look, join our group daily. Not only we're putting videos there, we're showing you who else in this industry, how they're doing it, but more importantly, we're going to come out there and give you more tips on a regular basis on how you can do it as well. So Eddie, thanks so much for sharing a little bit of your story with us today. I'm looking forward to absolutely learning more from you and our audience to learn more from you as well, my brother. So, with that said, we will be back tomorrow and we will soon have a very strict schedule where we will be
Yes.
live at the same time every evening. And of course, you'll find Eddie and I going live separately on various channels. So, look for us. We love you guys. Have a great Friday evening. Go back to enjoying your movie, whatever you were doing. Thank you for tuning in. Yolanda Perez and others that tuned in. I just want to give you guys a shout out. Chris, thank you for watching, and we will see you soon. Thank you. Have a great night.
It says you're still live. We're
Yep.
still live.
Beautiful.